Welcome to today's custom deep dive into excerpts from The Art of Psychological Invisibility. For you listening, our mission today is, well, unpacking the dark psychology of emotional vampires and learning how to starve them of their fuel.
Yeah, which is an incredibly crucial skill.
Right, because when you're dealing with a manipulator, the instinct is usually to argue back, or try to get them to see reason.
Which is exactly what they want.
Exactly. It's actually a lot like a fire. If you've ever watched a campfire start to die down, tossing in a gust of oxygen makes it flare right back up. So, okay, let's unpack this. For an emotional vampire, your frustration or anger, that is the oxygen.
It is. We really have to learn how to starve them of it.
Right.
And to do that, we first need to understand what's actually happening psychologically. Manipulators are driven by this desperate need for what clinical psychology calls narcissistic supply.
Narcissistic supply.
Yeah. They don't inherently care if the attention you give them is positive or negative. The goal is just emotional dysregulation.
So just making you lose your cool.
Precisely. Because if they can do that, they prove they have power over your state of mind.
So if our outward reaction is the oxygen, I guess we need to cut off that supply.
Right.
But our sources argue that before you can just change how you react on the outside, you actually have to rewire your internal mindset, like specifically drawing on Stoicism.
Yes, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly. He wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion."
Oh, wow. I love that.
It's so powerful. In the context of a manipulator, it means you do not owe anyone an emotional reaction. A provocation is just an invitation.
Like an invitation you don't have to RSVP to.
Exactly. You simply choose not to go. The internal feedback loop, that feeling that you must engage, that has to break first.
I mean, I love the idea of that in theory. Sitting alone in a quiet room, sure, I have no opinion.
Right.
But let's be real. When someone is standing right in front of you, actively pushing your buttons or maybe even attacking your character, how do you realistically have no opinion in the heat of that moment?
It's tough.
Yeah, it feels almost impossible to just flip a switch and feel nothing.
Well, because it is. That level of internal detachment takes years of practice. It's incredibly difficult in the moment.
So what do we do when we don't have that internal zen ready to go?
The source material gives us a strict behavioral fallback. It's known as the gray rock method.
Gray rock.
Yeah, you consciously choose to act incredibly dull, unreactive, and just totally emotionally flat. You rely on a monotone response.
Like what?
Using non-committal phrases like "I see," or "maybe," or just, okay, all with zero emotional inflection.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me.
Yeah.
You're essentially turning yourself into an NPC in a video game.
Yes. That is the perfect analogy.
Like those non-player characters that just stand by a real.
Right.
No matter how much you bump into them, they just cycle through the exact same incredibly boring lines of dialogue.
Nice day for fishing.
Exactly. Nice day for fishing. I see.
And that's the exact mechanism at play. By removing all interactivity, you halt their dopamine hit. Manipulators thrive on intermittent reinforcement.
Right. Right. If they keep poking, eventually they get a reaction.
Exactly, which trains them to keep poking. But when you become that NPC, you flatline the interaction. You give them absolutely zero behavioral data to work with.
My worry with this NPC strategy, though, is if you suddenly stop reacting, won't they just try harder to provoke you?
Oh, initially, yes, they absolutely might escalate. Psychologists call this an extinction burst.
Distinction burst, right.
It's a temporary increase in the negative behavior because the expected reward is suddenly removed. But if you hold the line, the ultimate goal is achieved. You transform your mind into a psychological dead end.
Because they're completely deprived of that drama.
Exactly. Deprived of the narcissistic supply, their brain registers the interaction as a waste of calories. They get bored, back up their drama, and leave to find an easier target.
Which is exactly what we want. For you listening, this is really about recognizing that your emotional energy is a finite, incredibly valuable resource.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, you don't have to spend it just because someone demands it. Mastering this kind of psychological invisibility is just a practical way to protect that energy.
It conserves your mental bandwidth for the people and the challenges that actually deserve your attention, rather than squandering it on someone else's manufactured chaos.
Beautifully said. But it does leave us with a lingering question to chew on as we wrap up.
Oh.
Yeah, if you put in the reps and perfect this art of becoming entirely invisible to toxic people, how do you ensure that this stoic emotional flatlining doesn't accidentally become a habit that bleeds over into your healthy relationships?